What headgear is trendy at the moment? Who designs unique silk scarves in Ukraine? The famous Ukrainian designer who knows everything about hats. All this coming up in our program. A headpiece is something that always attracts attention. In days of old, headwear was an integral part of the wardrobe of men and women. First and foremost, it was of practical importance. In winter, it protected against cold, and in a sultry summer, against heat. Also, with the help of headgear, it was possible to determine the social status of a person or his belonging to a certain group. For example, the helmets of soldiers performed not only a protective function, but also demonstrated their valor. And headwear, like a crown or tiara, was proof that their owners belonged to the upper class. Young unmarried girls also decorated their hair. It could be ribbons, wreaths, hoops, or various head dressings. Letting one's hair down was regarded as highly improper. Married women had to wear their hair in a bun or cover it with a scarf. In any case, they had to avoid displaying their hair in public. And the hair bun had to be closed. The fact is that until 1917, a woman never went outside with her head uncovered. The scarf was the main female headgear, and it was only in the 19th century that urban ladies, in observance of European fashion, began to wear hats. Hats are women's embellishments. This headpiece was without any doubt designed to emphasize your individual style. A properly selected hat will help to enrich your image with the sparkle of bright colors. You're wearing a dress, add a hat, and it looks somehow different. I believe that the hat makes your image complete. Natalia Stepanova and Maria Yevsikova are age models. Discussing the latest fashion events, they came up with the idea of creating a fashion event where models would showcase looks with hats. Our project is called Let's Bring Back Hats to the City Streets. We've already held 3 shows. We combined autumn hats with coats and came up with a marine style. Then we were invited to a big event called All Car Land. Maria Yevsikova took on the function of fashion show organizer, and Natalia Stepanova was involved in the design side. After all, she's not only a model, but also a hat collector, and her hats were the main thing in these fashion projects. How many hats are there in my collection? I honestly haven't counted. I think there are fewer than in Marlene Dietrich's collection. She had about 300. I think that I have a few less. Just a few. The collector has a rare vintage hat from the 1960s, which is called helmet. It's neat and small. The organizers of the project Let's Bring Back Hats to the City Streets got so immersed into the idea of creating a fashion event that they're already getting ready for the next show. The idea is that you can and should be beautiful, firstly for yourself, for your children and grandchildren. So we decided to demonstrate this beauty with the help of hats. Headgear is in demand in any season and for all sorts of occasions. When the modern-day woman is choosing a headpiece, it is easy for her to get confused in the fashionable variety of accessories, caps, berets, hats. Of course, a cap is a must-have of a winter wardrobe. It can be knitted, woolly, cashmere. The bobble cap has been in vogue for several winter seasons. If we talk about fur caps, ear-flapped caps are especially popular. It's very comfortable to wear a long scarf or snood on frosty days. Brave women and girls will probably like hats. After all, it's the hat what makes your image memorable. There is also a huge selection of summer headwear. It includes straw hats, baseball caps, and cappies. Berets. They can be both summer and autumn-spring. The beret fabric corresponds to the season when it's worn: cotton, linen, tweed, felt. Stylish silk scarves are very popular today. And now it really is a trend. Many world brands have returned to them. Olga Dvoryanska is a famous Ukrainian designer of other silk shawls, stoles, as well as parios. Music, environment, travels, and ballet inspire her to design amazing prints. All of this comes to life later in her works. How much time does it take to design a collection? Well, probably about 80% of the collection appears in my head. While I used to start with a long search for options on paper, when I start my collection, now I already know how all the elements in it will look, so it takes me about 2 months to design my collection. The designer has of late been using more and more Ukrainian patterns in her collection. I regard Cossack and Old Slavonic topics to be very interesting. Each region has its own interesting patterns, and I'm interested in giving it a new wave, new power. Scarves and shawls are not just headpieces, they're a kind of must-have transformer. After all, a scarf can be tied in various ways. For example, you can tie it around the neck. With a scarf, it's possible to create certain stylish looks while on vacation, while big silk scarves can be used as parios on the beach. Scarves are suitable for girls and women of any age. The main thing is knowing how to wear them. Because in addition to designing them, we should also show and educate how they should be worn and how relevant they are. We should also break the stereotype that scarves are only for adult women. Young people can wear them. They can be worn in a really modern way. Elegant hats that are regarded a bold accessory can easily fit into a strict dress code and can add a twist of romantic looks. Ukrainian head designer Marta Holod is quite well known today, not only in Ukraine, but also abroad. She began her career with ordinary curiosity and a great desire to create hats. The designer had to learn the whole process of hat making from scratch. To shape the future hat, craftsmen use a special cylindrical wooden block. The hat blank is pulled onto a wooden block and soaked in a special solution. As the solution dries, the workpiece takes on the desired shape. Only then is the hat carefully removed from the block. The shape of the block depends on size and shape of the future hat. So bit by bit, she collected information about the technique behind hat making. No one taught me this. I came to all of this myself. Actually, I created this profession in Ukraine. In Ukraine, we have a beautiful felt factory in the town of Khust. It produces high-quality felt. The color palette of this material is also quite diverse. But this is probably one of those few hat materials from which a designer can make her collections. For example, the material cineme is made out of natural palm fiber. It's woven by hand. There is no industrial production of this material. This makes it difficult to get hold of and quite expensive to buy. I like to experiment, and the fact that I couldn't get hold of certain materials that are traditional for hats here made me experiment with other materials. A hat made out of chocolate. Of course, this is probably my first experiment with unusual materials like this. The designer uses a diverse range of materials. This is also a traditional material for hats, straw. This includes lace, plastic, wood. All hats made by Marta Holod are exclusive and handmade. What materials has this famous head designer not used to make hats for her clients? Customers actually welcome her experiments. Marta Holod's most famous client is, of course, TV presenter Katya Satcha.
Может, во многом благодаря тому, что
Perhaps due to the fact that the project with Katya did not restrict me, and every time and in every program I wanted to provide a surprise with something unusual.
и показывать что-то необычное.
The hat parade is a tradition that has already existed for 3 centuries at the royal races in Ascot. According to etiquette, all the ladies have to wear hats in the presence of a monarch. The third day of the race is considered Women's Day. On this day, the Queen of Great Britain chooses the most original hat. Since that time, ladies have been trying to impress those present with their choice of headgear. For example, at Royal Ascot, one of my hats became the most daring. This hat became an iconic one. It was a yacht with waves and the Ukrainian flag on it. This was created to show where Ukrainian presenter Katya Osacha comes from. Modeling and manufacturing hats is a very time-consuming process. In addition, creative inspiration is a whimsical thing. How much time does it take for a designer to create one hat? Some can take a year to ripen, to excite your imagination and remind you of themselves from time to time. And then, after some time, it appears to the world. Others appear in one breath. This process can last from 3 days to, well, you could say, infinity. What headgear is trending right now, and how should you go about selecting your headpiece? Baseball caps made out of cashmere, panamas made of palm and raincoat fiber, and of course, each woman should select a headpiece that suits her. If you try on a trendy piece of headgear and it does not suit you, it's better to choose one that suits your mood, your style. Today, headgear not only protects against weather conditions, it also serves as an original and interesting accessory that complements your look and puts the finishing touches to your image. There's quite a large selection of hats today. This includes baseball caps, scarves of various colors and caps. Broad-brimmed and Borsalino hats have long been on the crest of a fashion wave. There is no beautiful and stylish hat in your wardrobe yet? Then that's a big omission. As the legendary actress Sophia Loren said, a woman in a hat cannot be forgotten. When choosing a stylish and fashionable piece of headgear, take into account personal tastes and focus on the style that suits you. It's important that this fashion accessory not only keeps you warm, but also provides happiness and a good mood.